Congratulations, Chiefs fans. You now have locked up the best quarterback in the NFL for the foreseeable future. Patrick Mahomes has signed the largest contract in NFL and sports history. A 10-year, $450 million contract that will see Patrick Mahomes as the Chiefs starting quarterback for another potential 12 seasons. The Chiefs are going to have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, that combination, until Andy Reid retires, and then even past that point. The Chiefs are now, with Patrick Mahomes, going to be relevant for the next decade plus. So congratulations to Chiefs fans. This deal is absolutely massive. Not only is it huge for Patrick Mahomes and the money that he is going to be able to have for himself, his family, but also it is huge for the NFL, it is huge for sports, and it is going to have a major impact on the entire league and the Chiefs organization. So in this video, I'm going to give you my reaction, my thoughts on the deal, Mahomes signing this 10-year massive deal with the Chiefs, and how I believe it will impact the future of the Chiefs, the impact it has on the NFL, and just overall the rest of sports. Before I give you my thoughts on Mahomes and this massive contract, make sure that you do Gronk spike the like button, subscribe to The Bottom Line View for more NFL reactions just like this, and comment below your opinion on what you think of this contract. Do you think this was a great move by the Chiefs to secure their guy, their franchise guy in Patty Mahomes? Or do you think that 10 years was just too much, just a little bit too much, even for a quarterback as capable and as great as Patty Mahomes? So this is a 10-year deal for the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. This will take Mahomes and the relationship of the Chiefs and Patrick through the 2031 season. That just sounds kind of odd to even say in my head or out loud. Worth $450 million. Of course, we don't know how this contract is actually going to look in 2031, if this is actually going to end up being a bargain for the team. But the reason I actually think that this is an awesome contract for the Chiefs, and initially when I saw it, I was like, man, this is dangerous, because you're signing any player in football, especially in football, to a 10-year contract has major risk factors. So the injury guarantee, because we don't know if Mahomes is still going to be playing football in 12 years. Hopefully he is. Hopefully for our sake as fans and for Chiefs fans and all of that. Hopefully we get to see this greatness continue. But I mean, $140 million for the injury guarantee. That is if some reason Mahomes cannot play or his career ends, you know, in the middle of it, you know, in his prime. So Mahomes will have that guarantee. That's nice for him. That's nice security for him. The 10-year deal, $450 million, 12-year commitment. It's going to be intriguing. That's where I'm the most interested, is like when we get to 2025, 2026, when we're in the middle of this contract, how does it look? How does it serve the Chiefs? You know, is it actually a benefit for them to have this contract now, or is it actually going to hurt them in the long run? We've seen multiple teams operate over the past 20 years, 30 years with the salary cap in the NFL, and how their quarterback contracts have helped them or hurt them. Of course, I know this from being a Patriots fan, that Brady's contract has often benefited the Patriots. I think there was only one time for maybe 2 seasons where the Patriots had Tom Brady on a contract where he was the highest paid guy in the league. You know, we saw Peyton Manning with big-time contracts. We saw Aaron Rodgers, and I think Aaron Rodgers is probably the one where it might have hurt the team with the amount of money that he has been paid. Russell Wilson for the Seahawks, I feel, kind of hurt the team thus far. Like, they haven't been the same team. They haven't been able to surround the players necessary to win championships. The thing is with Mahomes, if he is indeed the next Tom Brady, let's say, or the next GOAT, then it's certainly worth the money, or he's certainly going to be in the Hall of Fame conversation and one of the greatest of all time if he continues to be on this pace. And they'll definitely be in contention every season with him healthy. But the thing is, like, will you be able to get to that next step and win the Super Bowl? And that's always going to be the question with this contract. The thing is, though, 22% of the salary cap now is going to go to Mahomes. The highest percentage that it's gone to a quarterback that has won a Super Bowl has been Tom Brady in 2018, which was just 2 seasons ago. An older Tom Brady, 12%. So nearly 10% higher than what the Patriots were able to do and win the Super Bowl with Tom Brady. Point is, that's a significant amount of money that you're only paying to one player. Your quarterback, the most important position, but only one player. A great achievement, a great thing. I believe it's actually going to benefit the Chiefs. And here's why. Because of one key antidote in this deal. The contract does not contain language that ties its value to the percentage of the salary cap. That is the biggest thing you can hear about this deal. Yes, it's a 10-year deal. Yes, it's $45 million on average. Yes, it's $450 million. But for the Chiefs' sake, we don't know what the contracts are going to look like for quarterbacks next year, in 5 years, or in 10 years. We don't know the revenue that the NFL will be making and creating through their broadcast elements and the contracts that they gain from sponsors. We don't know how much money the NFL is going to be making, and that is what's directly tied to the salary cap. Now, I think that this is great in the long term, because I think when we get to year 5, year 6, year 7, year 8, and then into year 10, it's actually going to become a bargain for the Chiefs, similarly to what we've seen with Brady and the Patriots. And that, I think, is where we're going to see a second life for the Chiefs, where they are forming a really good roster around Mahomes. The longer this contract goes, the more of a bargain it becomes. Because if your salary is not tied to the percentage, then it allows the team, the money will not necessarily be the same value. Now, it still could be, because it is $45 million a year. And I'm not exactly a mathematician or salary cap expert here, but if I had to guess and had to judge it based on the future prospects of what the NFL is going to be bringing in terms of the salary cap and how the salary cap has continued to go higher and higher and higher, I think it will become a bargain in those later years of the contract, where the Chiefs will end up having their best roster since potentially this last year, or around this moment in time right now where we're at in 2020. I think where it will become a detriment to the Chiefs is in these next 3 to 4 years. I think it's going to hurt the Chiefs to surround a great team around Mahomes within these next 4 years. I think they're going to have to probably let go of like a Chris Jones. It's going to be difficult to retain some of their better players. But if the Chiefs are smart enough, savvy enough, of course they have great coaching, so that will significantly help. And as, again, it's the only comparison we can make is the Patriots, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. As long as the Chiefs, at least for these next 5 years, have Mahomes and Andy Reid, which it looks like they will have, they'll remain competitive. The question is, can they be able to win the Super Bowl? That's really the question. That's their goal every season. That's what it's going to be, and that's what the intent is by signing this contract. The key will be trying to find those under-the-radar players that they did find last year, specifically on defense in the secondary, where they were able to get away with cheaper guys in the secondary and still win the Super Bowl. So, to me, the Chiefs just need to be very good in the front office over these next 4 to 5 years if they want to win Super Bowls. The thing is, though, you balance it, right? So the Chiefs are figuring, okay, we're going to get the best Mahomes for the next 5 years. And probably at the end of those next 5 years, he's not going to be as great as he was, because there's probably going to be a little bit of physical deterioration there, that the arm might start to get just a percentage lower, and the ability to run and move might be a percentage lower, or maybe he gains an injury or two around, because that's just what happens to NFL players. So to me, like, yes, we're going to expect Mahomes to carry the team for the next 5 years. And then once the next 5 years come up and then the contract becomes a little bit better in our favor, we're going to be able to surround more players around Mahomes. So to me, the 10-year deal, it looks very huge on the surface, but I think it's also a really nice deal for the Chiefs. And I think if they balance it right and just play their cards correctly, they will be able to have successful teams and a great franchise, and one that can continue to win season after season after season, because Mahomes is that great, Andy Reid is that great, And as long as they have decent players around them, they'll be fine. Being this contract is pretty unique. We don't often see, a 10-year deal for quarterbacks or any player, especially in the sport of football. There has been 10-year deals before. Don't act like this is a first. This is actually not a first. Since 2000, there have been multiple 10-year contracts signed. And I did want to bring this up for the people that are saying, oh, this is way too many years. Now, we do need to think about it, right? So Brett Favre signed a 10-year deal for $100 million in 2001. That deal, I guess they had Brett Favre until 2008, I want to say, in 2008, and then he left, he went to the Jets. So they didn't fulfill that deal with Brett Favre, and I would say that the only real year that the Packers were super competitive during that tenure was 2007 when they went to the NFC Championship. Other than that, it wasn't a great deal for them. So that was probably a failure, honestly, especially a guy like Brett Favre, who's extremely talented, one of the best of all time. Drew Bledsoe signed a $103 million deal with the Patriots before Tom Brady got there in 2001. Obviously, that was a failure of a contract, but the Patriots somehow were able to have Tom Brady on a lower contract and still be able to get over that loss of money, and they moved off Drew Bledsoe. Dante Culpepper, that was a terrible deal. $102 million for 2003. A lot of these contracts, when you look at it, are not nearly the guarantee in talent that you're getting with a Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Brett Favre was past his prime in 2001, I would argue. Drew Bledsoe was never the talent that Mahomes was. Dante Culpepper was a one-hit wonder, really. Really, he was only good because of Randy Moss, in my opinion. Michael Vick, in 2004, $130 million for 10 years. Michael Vick was more than just a player, though, so I understand why they signed that deal, because he was kind of a phenomenon, culture phenomenon, and huge for the franchise. But at the same time, we know what happened. He was only there for a couple seasons, and then, yeah. So that didn't really work out. And then the other one that is really interesting is that Donovan McNabb signed a 12-year deal worth $115 million in 2002 with the Eagles. And I would say, actually, what's interesting about this deal is that McNabb and the Eagles actually got better as a team in 2003, 2004, 2005, and were kind of relevant with Andy Reid. And that's why it's really interesting, because Andy Reid has been a part of one of these before with Donovan McNabb. And you know that the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. They were pretty good in seasons following, and they were always competitive. And McNabb is not Mahomes. He was a good quarterback, but not Mahomes. So to me, Mahomes is actually the most unique, because not on this list, we don't see Tom Brady, we don't see Peyton Manning, we don't see Joe Montana, we don't see, three of the top 5 quarterbacks of all time. We don't even see John Elway or Dan Marino on this list. So that's kind of the interesting thing. These contracts are relatively new. We haven't really seen a lot of them, but most of them have not worked out. Only really one of them was okay. And McNabb, 12 years, that was way too long, because he ended up only playing on the Eagles, I want to say, till 2010 or 2011. I think Mahomes is going to be able to play the entirety of this contract. He's going to be a Chief for the next 10 years, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Maybe the Chiefs and Mahomes, they'll end their relationship, or maybe they'll extend another deal. I think Mahomes is going to end up getting 2 deals in his career. It's going to be this one, and if he probably wants to cut it off at the end of this one, he can renew it and get a third one. I think Mahomes is probably going to at least play till he's 35, so we got to consider that. And I believe he's only 24, 25 right now. So one thing to mention is how Mahomes' contract also affects the quarterbacks around him and the quarterback market in general. We knew that Mahomes was going to be the highest paid player in the NFL at some point, and this offseason, that's what happened. Now we need to take a look at Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott, and the other quarterbacks that are in line, Lamar Jackson, for getting big contracts. I think Dak is the intriguing one, because I think the Cowboys were much better off signing him before this contract came out, because now Dak can say, okay, Mahomes is better than me, but he got $45 million. I want 35. If you don't give me 35, I'm leaving. And that puts the Cowboys kind of in a corner. So to me, I think Dak's going to end up getting what he wants. I think he is. And I think Dak is a top 10 quarterback, but I don't think he's a guy that is probably worthy the second most money in the league or whatever. So that's really putting the Cowboys in a tough spot. I do think he deserves to be paid. I just think what he's going to end up getting might be more detrimental to the Cowboys than it's going to be for the Chiefs, because Mahomes is so special. When you look at Lamar Jackson, that is going to be one that I'm really intrigued with, because if anyone can match the production of Mahomes and the special quality and the difference maker-ness of Mahomes, it's probably Lamar Jackson. But the thing with Lamar is, how long will he be able to last playing this style of play? So that will be something that comes into play. But I do think that Lamar will probably get somewhere around $40 million if I'm projecting in the future. Deshaun Watson, I think, will probably end up getting somewhere between $38 and $40 million. I think he's going to be probably the second highest paid quarterback in the league alongside Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. I think those are the top three going forward. I'm really looking forward to seeing like the money and how this affects teams in the team building, because that is the most interesting thing to me. Yeah, I think this is a phenomenal deal for the Chiefs. I think, yes, there might be some moments of weakness in the next 3 to 4 seasons, but I do think that this team is going to be able to, because they're so smart, they're good in the front office, they have great coaching, I think they'll be fine. And I think they will be able to win a couple more Super Bowls. And I think that's ultimately the goal. They will be trying to win every single season. And that is what you can look forward to as a fan. So I'm a fan of the deal. I know it's a little risky, but there is just about nobody that's more of a for sure thing than Patrick Mahomes. So I overall like it. Gronk, spike the like button. Comment below your opinion on the move, the deal. Mahomes to the Chiefs for the next 12 years. The biggest contract in NFL history. Peace.